Welcome back, everybody. It's Marv. If you're new to my channel, I'm a personal trainer out of New York City for the last 14 years. I've lost over 100 pounds myself, and now I work with clients and trainers and those who are trying to inspire others to live better lives. Today I walked in on the locker room where I work, and one of the sales guys was having a conversation with one of our lead trainers. And the discussion was, do you need a trainer in order to lose weight? And they wanted me to interject because the conversation started to get heated. The salesperson is, not in the best health of his life, and he's trying to kind of like get back to it. And the master trainer was just trying to work with him and see if he could get him through, a traditional assessment session, kind of one of the types of sessions that you would do in order to kind of evaluate where you are and kind of guide you as to what you should be doing for your program. And like the discussion was, do you need a trainer to do that, or can you do it on your own? And having been through that experience myself, I jumped in and I said, listen, the reality is that no, if you're just trying to lose weight, if you're just trying to come into the gym and get toned, you probably don't need someone to guide you on that. But what winds up happening is that at some point in the process, you're going to need help. At some point in the process, you're going to need to work with somebody to guide you to the next step. Although you could get started on the process on your own, there are pitfalls along the way that you don't know about that you tend to find out later on, either after have gone through the process, going through the process, or after working in the profession as I have now for this long. There are changes that your body is going to undertake. There's joint stability issues. There's muscle growth imbalances. There's tightnesses that are come into play. When I first lost weight, I didn't realize why is it that now all of a sudden I felt so weak? Why is it that I couldn't do the same things I used to be able to do? Why I was having pains in different parts of my body? And that's because when you move differently, you're going to create different stresses on your body. So I could have, like I started out, going to every single machine in the gym. I was, every day I would go in, do a certain amount of cardio, go to the first floor, do every machine in there, go to the second floor, do every machine in there, come home sore, thinking I'm doing something, potentially losing a few pounds, but never really making a ton of progress, just becoming comfortable with being sore. And then the reality is that I needed to learn that at a different stage of the game, you need to do different types of training. And yeah, the guidance does help. But ultimately, my opinion in the conversation was, in the beginning, what you need more is support. A trainer is going to be amazing at guiding you through the process. And if that's available to you, that's great. I fully support it. I have many clients that start with me from day one, and I can see them through the process. But not everybody has access to a trainer. Not everybody has access to professional help. So we all try to mix and match and do it ourselves. In the beginning, I was watching Rocky movies and pumping iron and trying to teach myself how to work out based off the stupid picture on the side of the machine. And in the beginning, that worked. But more importantly, it got me used to working hard. It got me off the couch. It got me in the gym rather than hanging out in the house or hanging out on the block. So there wasn't going to be an opportunity for me to even get a trainer at that time because I didn't have the money for it. That was just the reality of it. The best I could do was like spy on somebody who did have a personal trainer and try to like take that idea of that exercise thinking, oh, you know what? They spent money on that. That's probably got to be really good. Yeah, but that's not necessarily for me. That's also not necessarily for my stage of the game or for my issues and imbalances. The truth is, I just wanted to make progress. I was tired of being where I am, and I wanted to move forward. And anything would have worked. Anything would have helped. And in the beginning, you need more support than anything else. Because the reality is you're going to have more bad days than good days. There are going to be days that you go to bed at night, and you're like, yeah, tomorrow I'm going to wake up and do this. I'm not going to eat that. I'm going to avoid this. Then I'm going to go at lunchtime and I'm going to do that. And sometimes that happens, but more often it doesn't. And what happens is people remind you more often when you screw up than when you do well. And the truth is, all you need, and if you're one of these people who has a friend or has somebody who is going through the process, do them a favor. Really, really, really highlight and support them and applaud when they do even the smallest thing. Even when you see them off in the corner doing whatever little thing, when you see them going for their walk, when you see them stretching, applaud them for that. Don't say, what else are you gonna do? Don't be like, oh, how many days have you been at it? Or how much weight have you lost? Don't come with the negativity. Just support them for what they're doing. And on the day that you kind of see them that they're not eating what they're supposed to do, or not eating what they're supposed to, or maybe they're not exercising that day, or maybe they forgot, or maybe you catch them at the pizza shop, do me a favor, just look the other way. They don't need another person reminding them that they failed. They don't need another person judging them for their life. What they do need to know is that the wins count more than the losses. That's what they need to know, because they're exercising their own damn demons. They're fighting themselves more than they're fighting anything else. They're fighting the habits. They're fighting the bad friends. They're fighting the easy food. They're fighting the cookies on the table. The person who's kind of bringing them cake at work. They're fighting this every single damn day, and they don't need you reminding them that they screwed up again or that they're not any closer to their goal, because you don't know what they're dealing with. So in the beginning, the general answer is, yeah, you know what? You could use a trainer. You could use a trainer, because guess what? You have collapsed arches, you have internally rotated femurs, you have a rounded upper back. There are probably exercises you should avoid. You probably shouldn't be in some group fitness class jumping, because before you lose weight, you're gonna tear your meniscus. But if you take it cautiously and you do the things that you know how to do and you don't push yourself, there's a likelihood that you don't get hurt first. And what we want to do is inspire people in order to make moves in the right direction. We want them to feel comfortable in a place of work. We want them to feel inspired and motivated to come in the next day, even though they still look the same, even though that weight scale hasn't moved, even though the clothes are still not fitting. You want them to come in. How can the trainer help? Well, the truth is, if I'm not feeling great about my weight, that's my only measurement for success. I come into the gym, I kick my own ass, and if I don't look any smaller, I feel like crap. And for those who are not trying to lose weight, for those that are trying to gain weight or gain muscle, you have this metric that takes a long damn time to achieve. But in the meantime, I can improve my shoulder mobility. In the meantime, I can improve my balance. I can make certain things stop hurting. I can balance out imbalances in my body so that now maybe my feet don't hurt so much because I'm not rolling to the outsides, or maybe I'm dealing with my collapsed arches, or maybe I'm able to kind of address my rounded shoulders. There's so many different things that you can do in order to improve in the gym and every day feel good about it without the scale having to change. So that by the time the scale starts to move in the direction that you want, by the time you start to look like what you want, you haven't quit yet. You're in there and you're, today I'm working on my shoulders. Today I'm working on balance. Today I'm working on my cardio. Today I'm working on my flexibility. By putting your attention on these different areas, it keeps you motivated and it keeps you going, because you can see the progress in my shoulders not hurting. You can see the progress in my flexibility improving. And then you start to see other people grind, and you start to realize that this is a long race and there's a lot of people in it. And even the people who you think are badass, even though the people that you look up to, they're working on stuff too. And you inspire them just as much. They see you grinding, they see you pushing. That makes that advanced client, that person who you think is the fittest person in the gym, you motivate them. So I guess my message today is to the person that's grinding, find the thing that makes you want to go to the gym. And when you get there, you do what you can. You don't try to do too much. You don't try to win it all in one day. But you realize that showing up helps you beat the demon within, helps you beat the old bad habit, helps you push past the laziness, the I don't want to go there, the I don't want to be seen like this, the I'm embarrassed. It helps you win. Every single day you grind, it makes a difference. To those around them, to those that actually care and support, not the ones that are there to kind of shun you, go, oh, you going to the gym? Oh, you're looking better. Oh, that's nice. Oh, you lost some weight? How much did you lose? Not to those people. To the people that actually care. To the people that are watching people in poor health or that are massively unhappy want to change their lives, do me a favor. Just applaud them and congratulate them when they do good and turn the other way when they don't. Because one day, all those wins are going to add up. But every single time you highlight a negative, every single time you remind them that they weren't consistent or that they didn't go to the gym or that it's been 3 days or that why are they having cake, that has a much greater damage to them. It hurts a lot more. It sets them back so much more because everything in their life is currently built and set up for them to fail. Everything in their life currently is set up for them to stay the same, to stay on the same trajectory, eat the same food, hang out in the same spots, do the same thing. And they won't change unless they fight that. And you can help. You can help by not making it worse. You can help by being supportive. When they ask for help, hey, can you drive me to the gym? Hey, can you help me get this protein shake? Hey, can you help me do this? Help. Otherwise, don't get involved. It's better that they handle it on their own. They don't need you reminding them. Okay, you want to lead from the front, you go to the gym. Okay, you handle your fitness. You do what you're supposed to do. They'll be inspired by watching you. They may not get off the couch. They might sit there, continue playing their game as you walk out the door. But inside, they're building that motivation to go do something. And the day that they say, hey, can I come with you? Don't say, okay, now you got to work out with me. Now you got to do this. Let them go off in their little corner and go and go do some stretching. Go let them do the little cardio. Let them do the little wall exercise and whatever. And then maybe they're pooped out and they wait for you in the lobby. But they came. And you don't ask them, oh, what'd you do? What'd you get? You just handle it like another day at work. They did what they could. They're becoming comfortable with the uncomfortable. Let them be. Pretty soon, they'll be on their way, they'll have their path, and they're going to bring somebody else to the gym, and they're going to be the leader. Because it's the person that escapes that runs back to go get more. It's the person that knows, you know what? There are more people that need help. Right where I was at, just where I was at, there are people who don't know how to get out, and I know how to get out. So do me a favor. Let them be. And when they ask for the help, when they ask for the guidance, support them on the positive days. Support them on the days that you see them doing well. Applaud them. And just look the other way when it's not a good day, because it's an even worse day for them. And to those that are looking for guidance, listen, I try to learn and do it myself. I got only so far. I was really lucky and blessed that at the same gym that I was trying to teach myself how to work out after I had lost 100 pounds and I didn't know how to do anything, but I was getting knocked over by waves at Jones Beach and I'm getting bumped on the street by women that are smaller than me and my shoulders getting blown back and I'm trying to figure out why I'm so damn weak. And I'm trying to teach myself every stupid exercise by going to the gym and watching videos and doing stuff. I only went so far. I wound up getting hurt. I wound up, at one point taking so many freaking supplements that I'm sitting in my house after taking Uno Explode and shaking because all of a sudden I'm over here taking way too much caffeine, or I did a scoop and a half because I thought if a scoop was good, a scoop and a half was better. You make a ton of stupid mistakes when you're trying to do it all by yourself. When you're trying to copy and emulate somebody who hasn't been where you've been, nor knows how to get out from where you are. So if you have real guidance, as in somebody right there, that's different. Don't tell me I follow this person online. Don't tell me, oh, I read this book. Don't tell me that. Because in reality, they're not speaking to you. They're speaking to the masses. You need someone to look at you. You need someone to point out exactly what you're doing wrong. You're over here trying to copy an exercise. You swear you're doing the same shit. I put a camera on you. It's obvious you and that person are not doing the same movement pattern. You don't have the same movement pattern abilities. You don't have the same flexibility. You don't have the same muscle firing technique. You ever seen somebody try to throw a football that doesn't know how to throw a football? They have an arm. It's moving, but it's not moving in the same mechanics as the person that knows how to throw. There are things that you need to learn, and I'm sorry, but as easy as the chick with the aloe pants that looks really good on Instagram is doing it, that's not what you're doing when you're executing the same exercise. It's what you think you're doing, but you're not. And all that stuff is inspiring. It's all cool to see some guy who you think is super fit and watch him work out and be motivated. But when you try to copy him, it looks like you trying to copy a conductor by doing this with your fingers. You don't understand what's actually happening. So you need someone to actually show you. So you can be inspired by those people, but you cannot be trained by those people. You need to be trained in person, okay? Coaching is me reaffirming and or giving you support and or reminding you of something you already know how to do. I cannot coach you as something you don't know how to do, something that you saw on a piece of paper, something that you watched a video for, and now you're watching it, and now I'm over here going, great job. That's BS. Because the reality is you're not executing it right, and if the person that's watching you is telling you thumbs up, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. That's the fact. And any true professional that's in front of a client will tell them the same thing if they're not trying to placate them and make them feel comfortable about what they're saying. So real training happens in person, period. Coaching can happen remotely after you've been trained in person. I get a little hot because I see a lot of people getting hurt with non-professionals, with individuals that got fit and now they think that they can use their homework to teach the class. Professionals need to stay in their lane, and models and people who look good and cute motherfuckers that all of a sudden have a body and want a side job, telling some fat dude or telling some skinny chick how to exercise because they got a six pack and they know how to do a couple of moves in the gym, doesn't make you a teacher. Doesn't mean you know how to instruct. Doesn't mean that you know how to show this person how to do it right, nor how they should progress or regress a particular movement. It just means you look good doing the exercise. And 90% of the time, you're not even doing it right either. But some people are strong enough to do it wrong. Anyway, point being, if you're just getting started or you're fighting to just be consistent, I'm telling you right now, don't quit. Don't stop. You're gonna have a good day, you're gonna have 2 bad days. So what? You fight, you grind, you push, you do what you can, and you make friends. You make friends in the spheres and in the places where you wanna become comfortable. You learn from people that are doing, and they can show you in person. And if it's a complicated movement and you can afford personal training, and you can afford to work with somebody professionally, please do so. Because I could start trying to build a shed in my backyard too, reading this manual, going buying some stuff from Home Depot, and guess what? At a certain point, I'm gonna realize that because I didn't level the ground or because I didn't check to see if I had the right screws or not, all of a sudden I have to do this whole thing over. That's the person who starts working out in the gym and all of a sudden gets hurt, or all of a sudden starts to realize that they were doing an exercise wrong, and now they've actually rounded their shoulders more, they've actually made their hips even worse, or now they've created so much plantar fasciitis, forget about going to the gym, they can't even walk. So instead of you messing up your life, instead of you getting hurt and getting in a worse physical situation than you are, moderate the work that you do and go at a pace. Go in and do the simple things that you know how to do, and develop the motivation and the strength in order to do more and to be consistent. With time and with help, you find the appropriate help. And then once you're out of that hole, you decide which way you want to go. You decide where you want to take your fitness. You get more help, you get a gym buddy. But honestly, it's just getting started is the hardest part. It's the hardest thing to be consistent. And we can all help those around us to do so. So this is a message from me, Marv, telling you that you can do it. Talk to you soon.